here. So I had a little bubble wrapped bag that my probe went in, and it, I left it at the vet's office. So, so I have it wrapped in here. So let's go get the mare. I think it's pretty good and dark. I can see on my machine what things are looking like. So I'm really hoping and praying that we can find what we want. I checked this mare yesterday evening, and I found a 40 millimeter on the right, which is good. That's large. That's ready to ovulate, but it didn't. And then I checked her this morning. There was a lot less edema. Edema's fine. Edema's natural and normal. There becomes a lot of it during the main part of heat, and then it goes down right before they ovulate, and then it comes back right after they ovulate. It'll come on back. So she's kind of knows what the routine and what's expected of her here. Oh, good girl. She doesn't particularly love the evacuation process, but she deals with it. She's been a really good girl about it. Hi. Yeah. So this is Zippy. So she's 12, and she hasn't had a lot done with her before I got her. So I was working on getting her broke out, and she's actually was coming along really nice for me. I was really appreciating, you know, no buck. I put a couple of rides on her, just walk trot so far, and she's been really, really, you know, cooperative and willing and super nice. So my next step is going to be to evacuate the rectum, which just means that I'm going to empty all the manure, all the feces out, so they're not in the way of me doing the ultrasound they're not in the way of the probe. You know, the probe will just show you the poop. It's not going to show you the organs inside if poop's in the way. And then I've seen a lot of professionals do this smaller glove. My hand's really small. These gloves fit me perfect, and then I don't end up having large pieces of plastic getting in the way of my probe, which was happening before when I had it. And then also something that I haven't quite taken the time to put on me here, but is a clip to keep my sleeve up tall. Oh, I forgot to wrap her tail. Drats. Here I am all excited to evacuate her and get her cleaned out. So I'm just going to try to get as much of my lube off of me as I can so I don't ruin my vet wrap. I don't know if it'll work with lube on it. That's funny. Oh, this is a good experiment. Okay, so I just did my 2 wraps, and I've got about 7 inches long there. And then let's get a little bit more lube on here. Let's turn it. Good girl. And then I'm off to the side of her, and I'm petting her, and I'm just very slowly going in. So as long as I find information and find that she ovulated today, she'll be a surrogate option. If she absolutely didn't, I'm going to have to ask the vet tomorrow if he thinks that a tomorrow morning ovulation is even worth me bringing out. And, you know, I mean, if he says no, I guess we'll just honor that and not bring her with. And God is so good. Hold on me. So 2 days ago, the papers came that the paint board had a little meeting committee and agreed that as long as this mare's DNA parent verification pans out, coincides with her sire, who was DNA verified, then they will honor getting her papers. So that's great, because when I had called them to find her dam's owner, there's a gal in Colorado named Cindy, and I sent her a letter. You know, they give us the mailing address. So I sent her a letter, and I gave her my email and my phone number, and I just said, if you own her and if you had any information about her, you know, I would be willing to pay for everything, and that I needed DNA. And sadly, she did not own the mare. She didn't know where the mare was at all. The other thing is, this mare's dam is 21 years old. So she may or may not be alive. Anyway, so that means that this mare will be able to get papers. She is Docalina, 3 or 4 back on the top. Which is great. Okay, there's no other poop that's going to bother me or get in the way of what we're doing here. So I need to see, and hopefully I can get this angled where I don't need Audrey as much to hold it. Okay, so it's really important that the probe doesn't have air in the way, or it can't really read. It's going off of sound waves, and air messes with it. So you lube it up a ton. And why don't you come around to this side, Audrey, so everybody can see what the ultrasound machine's gonna look like right here. So right now we're not really seeing anything legitimate that we're trying to look at. We're just trying to get just straight in. And I'm just going nice and slow. So I believe that would be bladder. And then we're over the uterus here. Oopsie, mare. It's okay. And now I've been finding her right ovaries really easily. So I'm not even gonna look for the right at the moment. I'm just gonna focus on the left because my arm will get tired. So those top little circles are all, I think, blood veins. And that's an interesting site, but not what I'm looking for. So I think right there are possibly that's a poop. There's tendon that's holding her together. Come on. Okay, I came back to the middle. Fluid moving around. Let me see if I can get this a little bit further in. There we go. It's like something interesting. So dark is echogenic, or sorry, the opposite. She's farting a little bit, so that's causing some air pockets. So dark would be liquid and light is tissue. Good girl, what a good girl. So I'm going to go over to the other side now. Sometimes it's a little helpful for my ego if I can find something successful. Alright, right there. Come on there. What a good girl. She's behaving so nicely. She's just standing around. Okay, right here's ovary. Okay, that's huge and obvious. And there's somehow a lot of echogenic right there. Audrey, can you push
Save
the freeze button? Okay. Go ahead and push it again. It'll unfreeze. And we'll, nope. Yes, the snowflake. I want to find if there's a large follicle again. How big it is. Okay, freeze right there. Go. Okay. Shoot, I can't reach it. Okay, why don't you pull the cart to me a little bit? Atta girl. Keep pulling it.
Can't really get it to come anymore.
Okay.
I can kind of hold it there.
Okay, if you would stand all the way back so that my whole being is in the video too, Audrey, and the horse. That's really important. So that looked large enough to be what she had in her earlier, which means it didn't ovulate. There's that bottom guy. It's just sitting, and that's about a 30. Wow, and there's a lot of activity there. Okay, let me see if I can come around and find her other side now. Now that I kind of know where the other one is. Okay, here we go. Here we go. Here we go, good girl. Now, what I want to find is some sort of apparent obvious that she ovulated. Can the guests see the screen, Audrey?
Yeah, a little bit.
Right there. That looks like a seal to me. Go ahead and freeze it.
Oops.
Okay, that's great. So this top zone looks like all the blood tissue of corpus luteum, which would have been the aftermath of the opening of the follicle, letting the egg out, letting the ovum out. So, which is interesting. I mean, it can be on the top. I didn't quite pay attention to that. It was just mostly on the bottom, and then there's something that could be a follicle, but it's not as big as the 40s that we were measuring this morning. Don't run away now. Come here. And there's kind of some spotty junk in that. Some speckles. So I'm just running around over the ovaries and trying to feel and look at. She's pretty gassy. It's kind of more than most of my mares. Oh, Mommy, I need you to not talk too much to your friends. So that's all right. I'm not seeing the 40. I'm seeing some big, but nothing that's that giant that was on this side. Now, I am not going to call myself a professional and say I know what's going on. But let me come back to center, to uterus. And in here, there's normally a lot of tissue. See that Y there? That's awesome. That's a really good. So there's not really any edema. Edema's gone away. So now we're going up one horn, back to find, come on, right here, ovaries on this side, and I mean there's a big guy, she could be sitting on that, but I doubt she'd be sitting on that for that many days. Come on, I just want to measure it. There it is. Give me that. Oops, that was bigger than that.
So we're going to click measure on mine. My buttons are this certain way. Distance 40 on the money. Save it. Okay. So a 40 and no CL. So that can sit if she ovulated the other side. Anyway, yeah, I've been enjoying learning about this for sure. And each mare is a little different length and different anatomy, just barely, but for the most part, they're pretty similar. So this is just random tissue. I'm just feeling and trying to find that left ovary again, which had been really difficult for me to find in the first place. I don't even know if that's it or not. Without seeing lots of follicles together, you know, there's no guarantee that you're on it. Blood vein. Come on. Can't be hiding that far. So that's meat. That's muscle. That's what muscle looks like. Her left one is just a little harder for me to find. And I really want to find that again to ensure that I knew what I was looking at as far as that. There we go. It just hides around the corner there. So I know that I measured 40 earlier, and those look like a couple of big ones, but not as big as what I was finding. I don't know why that's so bright. I think because it's next to her bone there. Hey, Mommy, you got friends. Hey, stand still. So it's 2 really big follicles. I'm hoping she's not just being weird and producing more and growing a lot. I want her to be to ovulate woman. So we'll check her again tomorrow. Good girl. So now step back so everybody can see. So this process is just slowly, gently coming out. And then I'm going to pull this down to cover so I have 2 free hands. I don't really need to well, I guess, come here, I'll show you. Oh, drats, I saved those, but I wasn't on my actual animal. Freeze, I'm sorry. File management. So, I'm going to look at some pictures. We'll go on this, and I should have clipped this onto Zippy, but, so this is a 40 on her right, and it was on the top. This is today. This looks like the CL that I was seeing, which to me looks like it's a true one. No, this is a 37. This was yesterday's measure on the right. And then a 30. I think on the right. Now this is probably her left one that she ovulated. Oh no, this is on the left, and this is a 40. Yeah, and I don't find that right now. So I'm pretty sure. And there's no edema. Oh, mommy. Oh, mommy. Oh, baby. Hey, I'm standing here. Okay. We'll just say today's her day of ovulation. Not by this morning, but by tonight she had. So that's great. That's great. So now my goal is to get my probe taken care of, and then my mare let out of the stocks as soon as possible so she can feel comfortable and feel like she did a really good job. But I need to make sure my probe is not, broken or damaged or dirty. Now, honestly, I just wiped this down and I've been rewrapping it. But I have only been using this on my own animals, my own equine, my own animals. I have a tummy one that I will do dogs on. I just want to get this out of the box so I can reshut it. And I know the veterinarian cleans hers, but I don't know how sterile she's been with it. So hopefully it's daylight enough you're still able to see. We'll just finish the video with that. I think we'll let you go. Alright. So the next step would be to, clean that up, put that away, and we're going to unwrap her tail. Don't forget any steps here. Great. I'm going to throw that towel away. Get a new towel here. So I've got 2 towels, 2 gloves, and a little vet wrap as my garbage for this task. So I want to wipe her down, careful to not get anything in the vulva. She has a really nice tight vulva. She's never been bred before. Everything in that should stay really clean and sanitary. So all this into the trash. And then I always walk my mare forward. I don't want her thinking or learning that she can back out. I don't want her freaking out, pulling back, hurting me, backing into me. So this is a forward procedure. Good girl. Very good girl. And that's something to keep in mind if you're going to invent or buy stocks, is to have something that can open from the front and the back. What a good girl. All right. Come on. Do this. All right. Well, thanks for watching. Really appreciate it. Hope you learned a lot. Hope you enjoyed it.
Want me to turn it off now?
Yeah, you can go ahead and turn it off.